let me start with some generative AI concepts. So I have I have taken this example of two models, two large language models. One is GPT 4o and the other one is GPT 4o mini, just to give you an idea of what models are. So when you look at a model, you look at the features like model size, context window. I will explain them really quickly. The model size really describes how large the model is and how complex the model is, how many parameters it has. These large models nowadays go into hundreds of billions of parameters, and the smaller ones are about this size, bit less than 10 billion parameters. The context window is how much text, or how much input and output that is the capacity that you can pass to these models. Okay, that is called the context window. And then there are output tokens, whether it's a high performance or what is it optimized for. All these features are important to understand and choose the right models. So mostly we will be working with these two models in ChatGPT. Mini is the smaller one, which is faster and gives a response very quickly, but it is less accurate. The GPT 4o is the larger one and it's more accurate, but it's also slower. Some important concepts are also regarding what is a token. A token is when a sentence or text is broken up into pieces. Those pieces are called tokens. They are not exactly the same as a word. They can be some punctuations and spaces also. So for calculation purposes, we say that one token is approximately three-fourth of a word. So as an example, a 128K tokens, if you calculate it, it is almost 160 pages, which is like quite a long book. Actually, this is almost a whole book. So 128 tokens is a lot of text that can be input and output. Okay, so keep that in mind. Another thing, another very important concept is the knowledge cutoff date. So these models are not trained to give you results up to December 2024. They were not trained up to the latest up to date. They were trained back almost 1 year old data. So that is called the knowledge cutoff date. And these models were trained up to December 2023. I'm talking about ChatGPT. These these two models. Moving ahead, now let us move into some demos and practical. Let us do something with ChatGPT. So the first thing is how to write a good ChatGPT prompt. Let's dive into some examples. So here we go, and we'll get into ChatGPT. So let's look at some prompt examples. So you can see that this is your ChatGPT interface and everybody is familiar with this. I will go fast because a lot of you already know ChatGPT. But how do you write a good prompt? You can ask ChatGPT a lot of questions. And let's say that we are trying to write a blog post on the environmental impact of electrical vehicles, right? And I'm writing a blog post on this impact, and ChatGPT is good at giving these results, and you get this output from ChatGPT, right? You get all of this, and now you also get the drawbacks, you get the benefits exactly as you had asked for. But now you want to do some formatting to that. You want to see this as an output as a table, so you can do that. You can include in your prompt that you would like to see the in a table format with columns structured like this. Now if you give this kind of detail in your prompt, you can tailor the output according to your needs and see a tabular output like this. uh, that is fairly easy to do. just giving you an idea what things are possible, right? And there are also other, if you want to do in some other format like markdown, that is also possible. Let us look at another example. How do you browse the web? So let's do a live example of browsing the web, or I have a browse web example. So you can ask for news, right? And this is very simple. You know how to do this. So ChatGPT has also got this feature of browsing the web, which was introduced a few months back, and it is done by using this search the web command over here at the bottom. This will allow you to browse web examples, but I am going to go fast because you already are familiar with this. How do you write an email? Again, that is also very simple. You can say, write an email to the sales team, and you can give the style should be conversational, so you will get a certain kind of an email. This email is looking very verbose to me. It is very long and cumbersome to read, so I would typically ask ChatGPT to regenerate and bullet points rather than paragraphs, simple and concise language, and you can get a shorter one out of it. So writing emails again is very easy, and ChatGPT is good at doing that. Write in your own style, okay? That is an interesting thing to do. How do you tell ChatGPT to write an article or write a blog post in your own style? So I asked ChatGPT a question to write an essay, but I also said it is extremely important to write this essay in my writing style only. It gave me some directions, and I asked more questions. Can I upload as a reference? And I did all of that. So now let's start over here. We say write a blog of approximately 600 words on the cultural diversity of India. Easy for ChatGPT. It did that. It created a article, a blog post on cultural diversity of India. Now I say rewrite this in my own style, and my own style is illustrated in this example below. So generative AI, I gave an example of another post that I had written, and here is this post. Right? I gave an example below. I asked it to rewrite it and gave an example of a certain style, and here it is. It has rewritten this whole thing in my style now. These are some things you might not have tried out, so I'm quickly showing you if some of you have not tried these things out. You can write in your own style if you give an example. I also can ask ChatGPT to explain the style to me. Can you tell me what kind of a style it is? It will explain that to you. It is now explained as it has said that this is conversational, it is direct and bold and impactful, and it has given you an explanation of what style of writing was provided as an example. Okay, let's quickly move. What are hallucinations? Hallucinations is a very, very important concept in ChatGPT or any generative AI. Now, these generative AI models are not always right. They make errors. And sometimes, when they do not have an answer, they imagine up an answer. So, when generative AI does not give an accurate answer but it imagines it up, that is called a hallucination. And hallucinations are one of the biggest problems in the real world. These are one of the biggest problems that we face with generative AI, and I will tell you how we solve that problem and how we at least minimize it. It is not something you can solve 100%, but there are ways to minimize it to a very low occurrence. Now let's see how ChatGPT can be used to describe an image. So let me see where image description request. So I provided an image which is a mind map with uh, understanding of Gen Z work challenges. I've provided all of these and I've asked ChatGPT to explain this and convert it to text, summarize it as text. So it has able to I said extract the text from the mind map and display it in block format. Per section, I gave it instructions of how it should display it and bullets and sections, all that. So it has done that very well. It has converted that mind map into text, and now I can use this, wherever, in a blog post or in an article. What else can be done? I can do text to image, but keep in mind ChatGPT is not the best way to do text to image. I will show you the example. So I use ChatGPT to get me of just a very simple show me a fierce German Shepherd dog. So it created an image, but this image is not very realistic. It is, you can easily make out that this is AI generated. So ChatGPT can do this, but there are much better and free options, and I will let you know what those are as we discuss. How do you change the model? Let us look at email or some example and go and change the model. So you can change the model from here. You have GPT-4o, which is the complex model, the slower and accurate model, and GPT-4 mini, which is the faster for everyday tasks. You can change the model also. So if you want more accurate results, sometimes you may want to try GPT-4o. By default, we usually go with this one. What are some of the new ChatGPT features? So I I asked ChatGPT itself. See, every month, every few months, AI is coming up with new features, so we have to keep up to date. What is the new? Either you have to try them out, Google it, but right now I just quickly wanted to show you how you can keep yourself updated just by asking what are the newest features released in ChatGPT. But you must use the search the web mode over here. Otherwise, this will not give you an accurate answer because the model is trained only up to December 2023. If you remember, I had told you some time back that there is something called a knowledge cutoff. These models are not trained up to December 2024, but the features that might have come out, they might have come out just in November or December. So if you use the search mode, it will go and get the latest. It will do its own search, whether that's a Google search or some search engine that it uses, but it will get the latest information and it will summarize all the latest. So the funny part is they have introduced a phone service now, so you can actually call them up on a 1-800 number and those kind of things, and then lot of other enhanced search engine and those kind of features are there.